Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest show on earth!
What are we, the Ringling Brothers Circus? That's stupid!
Maybe one day we could be a circus, but for now we're just the Bittersweet Gamers.
What? Now, why? Why do we want to be a circus? I mean, we are a clown show, I guess.
I think it'd be a step up, frankly. I'm We Squared.
I'm the Opinionator. Okay, well, enough clowning around.
I fed you that one.
I should just quit. It's just not even worth it anymore. Onward! Apollo and Athena! Go check out Trucy, whose life has been completely ruined.
Trucy, are you being held by a mannequin? Because that man has no face or facial features.
Dude, this is the detention center. It's always like this. Sometimes they ask that guy to leave.
Oh, wow.
Poor Trucy. What can we even say to her?
Oh, Polly, Athena. I wasn't even aware that they dragged me in here because I had a visitor or something.
There's often that response. Like, what are they even doing here if they're just gonna sit there like that?
Trucy, are you okay? I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
We saw the news about the accident on TV. We were there.
I guess I can't Houdini my way out of this one. I got arrested and everything. They say I'm the one who caused the accident. You know, I just want to say I think it's really funny that they just allow them to retain their regular outfit.
Yeah, well, it'd be too difficult otherwise.
I know.
Don't break that type of realism. Like, keep that out of my Phoenix Wright. But that's not true, right? Why am I'm such a jerk for even asking this.
Like, even considering it.
I mean, you think about like the Ace Attorney 4 Apollo Justice.
Hmm?
Like, why would he ever accuse Trucy of something like this?
Right. I mean, as a defense lawyer, you have to believe in your client.
I mean, they've got like a bond. Blah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just one line.
To be honest, I don't really know.
Ah.
I mean, I have no idea how an accident like that could have happened. The trick went off without a hitch. I'm sure of that much. Still, the police just won't listen to me, no matter how many times I show them my magic panties.
You haven't really been showing the police your magic panties, right?
I keep making the handcuff keys disappear.
Trucy, maybe this is why they're not listening to you.
They've already decided that it was all my fault.
Well, the way the news reported it was that...
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter, something like that.
Yeah, was that she just messed up because she's inexperienced.
Yeah. I'm exhausted after all their questions. Looks like she's been able to hang in there at least.
Yeah. She really is one tough cookie. And blah blah, underrepresented in these games, blah 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 blah. I know you're tired, but can you tell us a little bit about the accident? You probably know this, but we are here to represent you.
Yes, of course. Go ahead and ask me anything. I'll be fine.
I mean, it sounds pretty normal, but that's Apollo's catchphrase.
Gee, what should we ask her about, I wonder?
We should have shown her the badge first, come on.
I wonder if she'd make it disappear through the glass.
Well, we will find out after this next topic. For starters, can you help us understand what happened? In today's show, there was a dead body in the coffin. How did that happen? Was there some kind of accident? Are they right? Did you really mess up?
I don't really know.
Although you have to get that out of the way.
Yeah. The coffin was supposed to be empty when I opened it. But instead, Mr. Reyes' body was in there.
That must have been a huge shock for you.
And when the dragon set piece fell down at the end, was that an accident too? It must have been. I have no idea how or why that happened either.
That has to be related, of course. But we haven't done any investigation.
Nothing went the way it was supposed to.
And they've done this, that was the dress rehearsal, so...
Yeah! I still can't believe Mr. Reyes is actually dead.
As tough as she is, this is obviously taking a toll on her.
Now, if the trick didn't involve him to begin with, doesn't that seem a little suspicious that he's there?
We need to get more details.
Okay. But how did Mr. Rias's body get into the coffin in the first place?
Again, if she wouldn't have this, oh, did I really mess this up attitude if him being around there was so...
Okay.
I mean, Athena's asking about this. Trucy, we need you to tell us the secret of the trick.
You know what they say, a magician never reveals her secrets.
But
I guess I should make an exception this time. But if you ever tell anybody, I'll make you disappear.
Looks like you still have a few secrets I don't know about. I wonder what happens if a person goes in the magic panties.
I'll make you my guinea pig for every single new magic trick from now on.
That could be really bad, especially considering the context of why you're here and what you're accused of.
Did you just threaten that young man? Like the guard?
Don't worry, we go back a long way.
It's fine.
Same employer, etc., etc. Don't worry, I'm a lawyer, remember? Client confidentiality is part of the job.
Here you go. Oh, your attorney's badge. Does this mean you want me to?
Yes, it does. It does mean that. Not even you can make it disappear through this glass.
Oh yeah? 3, 2, 1, ta-da!
You really did it, Trucy. You really did it.
I'm just glad I get to see Trucy's magic panties. Ken, don't screen cap that! I'll be...
What? It's gone! Did you say I'll be?
I didn't mean to!
Wow! How did you do that, Miss Wright? And how are you gonna make it reappear? Where'd it go?
Oh, guard, I'm ready to go now.
Hey, my badge! Give it back! What about the rest of the trick? There's more here, Trucy.
That was pretty good.
Man, she got us good. So, let's call this trick Trucy's Great Escape. How'd you get out of the coffin?
All right, here goes. I'll reveal the trick just for you two and this guard who's sitting here and probably doesn't care.
Don't worry about him, but really, sorry, Trucy. I mean, this is like a big invasion of a magician's privacy, you know?
Yeah. Prepare yourselves for an exclusive explanation by magical girl Trucy Wright.
Oh, wow, are you going to transform and everything?
There's a secret trapdoor in the stage and it leads down to the understage passage.
I like the music. A trapdoor? So when did you slip down into the understage passage?
Remember when Mr. Hat was on stage holding a sword next to the coffin?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, too.
Well, by then, I had already escaped from the coffin and was waiting understage.
Okay.
And while I was down there, I did several things to get ready for the next part.
You know, we'll look at this diagram like 3,000 times until all this is burned into our memory, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. What technique? Okay, so what happened next? Mr. Hat was quickly raised up to the catwalk by wire. Or you could say, the hat walk. I'm sorry, I shouldn't joke at this time like this. There's a cushion up there that acts as a shock absorber when Mr. Hat hits it.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, I popped back up onto the stage through a different trapdoor.
You know, that makes sense.
And voila, the switch is complete.
I mean, there may be another reason for it, but it also could be in order to move people with enough force and speed so it
Make
actually
them disappear
works.
without hurting them?
Yeah, so it works like it's a show. Well, the hat's a puppet.
Well, right. But
but
the cushion's probably there in general for that.
Yeah, and so you can like whip things up so fast and it doesn't make a big noise or
Or
rattle
damage it,
or
yeah.
hurt a person if it's a person, so okay. I mean, it's clearly going to be relevant because that's going to collapse or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the cushion was probably behind the dragon.
Yeah,
And then the dragon collapsed shortly after.
Or something like
yeah. I had no idea all of that was happening.
Really? You didn't? Don't you have some idea how these shows work?
I was convinced you were still in the coffin. That's what professional magicians do. They make their audience see something that isn't really there. I like how she's bouncing.
Oh yeah, no, Trucy's bounce is always adorable. So I can't speak for professional stage magic, but I did see the touring Broadway version of Les Mis, and I could not believe the freaking special effects that they did. It was done like with stagecraft, of course. But one of the ones that impressed me the most was when they used different types of lighting to actually create a scene change by moving through the sewers.
Really?
I look, there is no way I can describe it to you in a way that will actually make sense, but it blew me away. It really looked like they were traveling through the sewers and turning and twisting through the tunnels.
Oh, I see. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, from an empty stage, making it look like that. I mean, that is modern technology and like the power of Broadway and the best people in the business, right? So you kind of assume this stuff has got to be pretty grand.
Yeah.
The only musical I've ever seen is Cats, and there wasn't really.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, but you saw that. You didn't see it live, though, did you?
I saw it live.
Oh,
too.
you did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I never knew that.
Like in the beat.
But, I mean, let's not get off on a
Well,
tangent,
you're right.
But yeah.
In other words, you make us see illusions, right?
We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing in one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is there really isn't, and what we say isn't there actually is.
Very good! That reminds me of our attitude towards other Let's Plays we've done. I get it. It's kind of like a magical bluff.
We're logical magicians! But there's no escaping the fact that the victim's body was actually in the coffin. It wasn't empty like it was supposed to be.
Was he dead before it was in the coffin? Well, how would we know?
I mean, we don't have any sort of, like, time of death autopsy thing, whatever.
Any time of death autopsy thing, whatever.
That's the technical term. That's why I'm not in that sort of business.
The business of lawyering?
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. The last thing in the world I expected to see in there was Mr. Rias.
How mysterious? I'm sorry. That actually makes me feel bad, the way that pitiful sort of bleeding laugh. I kind of feel guilty. I shouldn't take such low-hanging fruit. Could he have climbed in there by mistake? I should get back to asking Trucy about the accident. Can you tell us more about the victim?
The great Mr. Rias.
He certainly had a bitchin' costume. I wish I had that costume. Who exactly is this Mr. Rias? You said he used to belong to Troop Grammary, right?
Wait, you don't know who the great Mr. Rias is, Apollo? He's super famous. He's all people talk about on TV.
Well, maybe they talk about other things, but I just assumed he was one of Trucy's assistants.
Way to diss the dead, Apollo.
Oh, that's good. So, how'd the two of you come to perform together, Trucy?
Well, like I said, he used to be a member of Troop Grammary. He was a protege of my granddaddy, Magnifique Grammary. So the TV station arranged for us to perform together this time because of that connection.
Did he continue performing as a magician after he left Troop Grammary?
No, he got injured while practicing for a show about 13 years ago. That's why he left the troupe. After that, he took a break from magic for a while. I'm pretty sure it's a recent thing, him getting famous again.
Yeah, like I guess he had some sort of comeback and it really made a splash.
Yeah.
Man, some of the victims, because you never get to meet any of the victims.
I know!
Like maybe occasionally, but sometimes they have these really interesting stories and you're often like, wow, what an amazing and impressive person you were. And you just feel so bad.
I only started seeing him on TV again, maybe last year. I had nothing but respect for Mr. Rias as a magician. I can't tell you how sad I am this happened.
I can't imagine how traumatic it must be to have someone die during your big show.
Oh, but hey! Don't worry, I'm fine. I have to stay strong for my fans.
She's lying.
Oh!
My bracelet's reacting, and we all know what that means. People tend to unconsciously tense up when they're trying to hide something, and I can't believe I have to use this on Trucy.
Wow.
And when I pick up on their distress, the bracelet around my wrist starts to feel tight. So, I guess this means that Trucy's trying to hide something from me.
Huh, could you use it outside of the courtroom in the Apollo Justice games?
Yeah, you've just forgotten. Well, you've only played seen
one.
Apollo the one time. Yeah. But
like in the first one, did that happen, or was it only in court? I only seem to remember using it in court.
You use it whenever it's really important or relevant. Well, you know what? Maybe you did only use it in court, but I mean, in Dual Destinies, that wasn't the case. I guess I don't actually remember, but considering that he just uses it to detect lies.
Yeah.
What I think is funny, though, is that it has to be spiritually powered.
Right.
And that it has to squeeze his wrist.
Yeah.
And so then he can use his great vision to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But it sort of seems like it's taking something away from Apollo himself. Like when Phoenix used the Magatama to like break psyche locks.
Yeah.
You know, like Phoenix had to deal with it. It just let him see it.
Yeah.
But he's the one. Well, I mean, I guess it's the same sort of thing. Well, anyway, Edgeworth didn't have anything like that.
Nope.
He just did it all himself. he didn't have to rely on some like magic hoo-ha. It's kind of awesome, though.
Shouting gun, activate!
I mean, it's like that. I can see things others can't. The slightest twitch, gesture, or change in expression. Yes, I can see it all when I'm concentrating intensely like this.
Apollo, why are you staring at me through your bracelet?
We've known each other a long time, Trucy, and honestly, this is awkward!
So I know that you know that I'm lying then?
Yeah, pretty much. pretty much, yeah. And when people are feeling tense, they sometimes reveal a certain habit or little tick. I'll just shift my viewpoint around until I find Trucy's nervous tick. Don't do anything funny. I generally have kind of paternal feelings towards Trucy, who's one of my favorite characters in the series.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I found her extremely difficult to notice telltale tick. Now to listen carefully to every word and see what she gets shifty-eyed over, because that really is the important part.
Yeah, I remembered how it works from the first Apollo, the only Apollo game I played.
There's only one game that's Apollo Justice. It's just he's in 2 other games, and this is one of them.
Okay, fair enough.
Then I'll perceive whatever she seems nervous about to get to the bottom of things. Ta-da! Gotcha! That was what he said. I couldn't remember. Come on, Trucy. You should know by now that just like you were joking earlier, you can't hide anything big from me.
Don't tell me that your bracelet reacted.
Sorry.
Even though you were clearly looking through it.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, is that not how it works?
He doesn't take his bracelet off and hold it up to his eye. Right?
That's how I always thought it worked.
No, it's he's like, oh.
Okay.
And
that makes way more sense.
Otherwise, somebody would say something about it sometime, right? Yes.
And here I thought my smile was going to do the trick.
Sorry.
Looks like I broke the first rule of being a magician.
A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face, right? I remember hearing you say that before.
That's right. It's a Grammary motto that my daddy used to say before he passed away. I'll never forget it. It's one of the few precious memories I have of him.
But you can't keep everything inside, Trucy. You'll burst. Why don't you tell me what's bothering you?
I can't. If I did,
Trucy?
you wouldn't believe in me anymore.
But it's Apollo! That's not true. As an entertainer, you believe in always keeping a smile on your face. And as a lawyer, I have a belief that's important to me as well.
It has to be this one.
Yeah, of course!
Your attorney's badge?
I swore on this badge that I would always believe in my client to the bitter end. That's the cornerstone of being a good lawyer. Mr. Wright taught me as much. So no matter what you tell me, I'm going to keep on believing in you, Trucy. All I ask is for you to have a little faith in me, too. I mean, why wouldn't you?
All right. Thanks, Polly.
That look on her face.
The truth!
Polly, what if I made a mistake?
What do you mean?
What if it really was me who stabbed Mr. Rias?
What makes you say that?
Well, in my escape trick, I used both a real sword and a rubber sword. I switched the real sword for the rubber sword just before I stab it into the coffin.
What do you need the real sword
Yeah! I guess so it looks real,
Probably
but...
so you can swing it around properly.
Oh, she did have a sword fight, didn't she?
Yeah.
But you could... I guess it wouldn't make the clanging noise if it was rubber.
So even if somebody had been in there, the rubber sword shouldn't have hurt them.
But how would you... But Mr. Rias was found dead in the coffin.
I know! It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean...
Like, if someone had... Maybe someone swapped out the
Yeah.
rubber sword for another real sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that could work, but if... The part about that is if that's the case, and say she stabbed him and killed him, even though she thought it was going to be the rubber sword and she didn't mess up, how bad would that be? She'd have to live with that for the rest of her life, even though it wasn't her fault. She would still have been the person who did it. Now, look, we know nothing, we have investigated nothing, we have no context for anything, and I don't mean to presume on any of it, but I'm still thinking that Mr. Rias was dead before
I agree with
he
you.
was in the coffin, so...
But if someone wasn't supposed to be in the coffin, and she stabbed someone in the coffin, don't you think she'd have felt that?
Yeah.
And
There wasn't any blood either.
And wouldn't that have, like, tipped her off right then? But she still went through with the trick.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I just wanted to point that out.
It's all hooey, is the thing.
Yeah.
I know I swapped the swords.
I know you did too. Well, you have to ask. You're absolutely sure?
Positive. I practiced that trick hundreds of times with no mistakes. I remember very clearly swapping the swords this time, too.
All right, Apollo, quit questioning her and get on with believing your client.
But could I have made a mistake this time?
I mean, you know, she's just a 17-year-old kid. There's no way she wouldn't doubt herself. Could she really have?
Well, I'd better get going.
Huh? Where to?
To practice my act, of course. The show's only a few days away.
You're really pushing yourself. Didn't you practice until late last night, too?
Yep, because everything's gotta be just right. Maybe I really did kill Mr. Rias.
Trucy.
The worst possible mistake I could make. Such a horrific accident, right in the middle of my show. And yet, all I can think about is, now that this has happened, Troupe Grammary will get its performance rights pulled. There'll never be another show. Everything my family worked so hard for will be gone forever. And poor Mr. Rias had his whole life and a great career ahead of him. I ruined everything.
Oh, Trucy.
I destroyed it all. I took it all away.
Polly, I'm ready to pay for what I did.
Yeah, that's my response. Trucy, I don't think you did anything wrong.
You don't?
I've had one question going through my mind this whole time. Was this accident really your fault?
What do you mean?
I don't have any proof or anything. It's just, I don't think you'd ever make a mistake like that.
Apollo.
I saw how hard you worked on your trick, staying up late every night to practice. And I know you always get everything picture perfect.
Nobody's perfect all of the time.
Still, I think something else caused Mr. Ria's death. Not any mistake of yours. After all, you're sure you swapped the swords, right?
Yes, I remember doing it.
Then I just know it wasn't your fault, Trucy.
But how can you say that? We don't have any proof it wasn't me.
That's
I
not how
mean,
you should think.
I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but
why do you blame yourself so much? I believe in you, Trucy. And I believe in your skill as a professional magician. It's like the last of her doubt.
Yeah.
All the confidence that she'd always had, like her whole life. It's like this is the one thing that's able to bring all the doubts she's always had, that she's always pushed away. Like this is the thing that brings it all to the surface and is kind of making her crack. So I'm gonna prove your innocence. Don't worry. You're going to be fine.
Oh. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you for believing in me. I'm going to believe in you too.
Good.
I'm sorry. I need a tissue.
I've never seen Trucy cry like this before. She always seems so strong. But maybe sometimes she's just putting on a brave face. She's still just a kid after all. Oh. I mean, look, I'm really weak against stuff like that because I really like Trucy.
I like her too.
So, I have to ask to make it official, but will you let me defend you?
Yes! I'm counting on you. I don't want to have to cancel the show on its opening day.
I'll go as fast as I can. Right. She seems fine now.
Trucy! Let's win this trial together!
I don't know, that's really how I feel, to be honest. Unlike some people who wear their heart on a sleeve.
I wear mine on a pendant.
Well, we'd better get right to investigating, but before we do, I'm gonna present evidence at you. Come on, Athena. Wipe that nose and let's go.
Excuse you? Do you see any snot on my face, Apollo?
Not right now, ma'am! Yeesh. Talk about an emotional roller coaster.
We'll need to investigate the stage at the Penrose Theater where the body was found.
Yeah. I hope no one will try to stop us, but true to form, we'll be stopped by this game's detective.
Yeah. If you're going to the Penrose Theater, can I ask you a favor?
Of course. What is it?
I left a very special notebook behind in my dressing room.
Sure, we can pick it up for you.
That notebook is really, really important to me. I don't know what I'd do if anybody read it.
I really hope we don't have to read the thing and bring it up, because we might.
Oh.
I wonder what's in it.
The notebook is in my blue handbag on the table. It's big and black. You can't miss it. Thanks in advance.
I actually remember Bonnie's notebook in that room.
Yeah. And with that, I've got to go. It seems they've got more questions for me.
No, I haven't presented evidence at you pointlessly! Okay. See you later, Trucy. And then she vanishes into the mist from whence she came. Isn't it kind of amazing how she can get through the door without the guard even moving? So,
Magic panties.
should we investigate the stage first or go get the notebook?
I feel like we should get the notebook first.
So what you're saying is, well, it doesn't really matter. So what you're saying is she actually climbs into her own magic panties?
Yes!
Okay. I might be able to believe that.
I can present evidence.
Here, present that diagram to Athena.
Oh, some evidence from the case? Well, too bad. I don't have a single thing to say about it.
And you're proud of that? Why?
I'm proud of everything I do.
Okay, you're right, actually. Anyway, take a look at it.
It's like she came down here and then popped up there and then there was
Wonder why the cushion isn't on this. Well, it will be eventually.
a Monokuma camera. Wait, wrong game.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Security camera stares at us with its cold, unblinking eye, reporting our every doing to some bear. I don't know why, but it gives me the heebies with a side order of jeebies.
Oh, noes.
The faceless guard is just standing there, completely motionless, like Billy said, a mannequin. And Athena keeps making faces at him, trying to make him crack at least a smile, and she's totally gonna get arrested.
Ooh, I think I made him smirk a little.
Good job, Athena. Leave the guy alone. Oh, you can look at the microphone too. It's a microphone for speaking with people on the other side of the glass. Considering how personal these conversations get, you kind of forget that they're both going through a microphone, huh? Athena's trying to stump the guard with trivia questions. Why is he even here?
Ooh, this guy's good. He
Man.
answers in the blink of an eye without batting an eyelash or moving a muscle.
I'd forgotten how badass this guard was. I'm just glad that I remembered that you shouldn't make light of him. Is he that bored?
I'm just glad a cute girl is talking to me.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Oh, there's actually going to be something out here, huh?
I guess so. Maybe
Maybe-
we'll run into Mr. Rents?
Rettins?
Rettins?
Mr. Retchen, Mr. doesn't understand the pun. The person you are trying to call is not available. After the tone, please. Boop, 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 boop. I've tried calling Mr. Wright 100 times, but he never picks up.
Have you considered that maybe he's not getting reception out there, Apollo?
Well, I guess it's possible, but that's why I've called him 100 times.
We've left him some voicemails, so he'll probably call once he gets them.
He's gonna flip out when he hears what happened to Trucy. Remember, that's his daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the place. The theater where that magical murder happened.
Oh yeah, wonder if they brought the dead body out yet.
Yeah, people are great. I hear they already arrested the murderer. They say it's a young girl.
Yeah, a high school student. Can you believe it? Kids these days.
What's with all the curious bystanders? They sure are kicking up a fuss. It's like there's a celebrity involved and...
How dare they call Trucy a murderer? They've got some nerve!
We can't let people think that about her. We have to defend her. Quit talking, widget. Apollo, is that you? Hey!
Oh, nice!
It really is Emma! Emma? Well, I give some sort of an introduction, but I probably don't need to because she's about to give an introduction herself, and Apollo's going to say, "This is Ema Skye," etc., etc. It's sure been a while. How have you been? Oh, can't complain. I haven't seen you in ages. Since Apollo Justice. Emma's not usually in the best of moods, so I never quite know what to do or say around her. Well, we have some business to take care of, so I guess we'd better get going. Blow you off, blow you off, blow you off. Hey, wait a minute. What? Was it something I said?
Probably all the blow you off.
Oh, was it that? You're darn right it's something you said. What's with you brushing me off like that, you jerk? We've got heaps to catch up on. Remember, we're actually friends. After all we've been through, you're not still mad at me about something, are you?
I love that cheek puff.
So, yes, that is some high-grade cheek puff. So, Technically, Emma was in the DS remake of the first game, and that final case was glorious.
Uh-huh.
And she was a teenager, and it was her older sister that was the victim in that case.
Right.
In that case, Phoenix and Edgeworth worked together for the first time, and that case was really good, and Emma's dream was to be a forensic scientist.
Well, according to that arm badge there...
she didn't make it. In Apollo Justice, though they don't really ever talk about it, I think, she's now a police officer who is like a detective, and her specialty is forensics.
Oh.
And what that meant was even, like the dream that she had, she wasn't actually able to make it happen, and so she just sort of settled for this.
I see.
And the thing is she used to be like kind of like perky and happy and bright, but that actually made her sarcastic and kind of sarcastic and kind of dark.
Uh-huh.
And so that's just interesting. That's not normally what you see. And so that always made like a big impression. Anyway, I always really liked her. The thing that I can't figure out about Emma is I don't understand how, based on Phoenix Wright 2 and the first game, how the final case can happen in the same... Like, there's timeline problems.
Okay.
See, like Phoenix Wright 2, Phoenix is like, don't talk to me about Edgeworth. And and Edgeworth has disappeared, but it's like, but you guys worked through all that in the last case of the first game. And then it turns out that was actually a bonus added for the remake.
Oh, I see.
Which was the first one that came to the U.S. And anyway, that was a trip down memory lane. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you or all the viewers.
Who's this, Apollo? Distant cousin or something?
Are you jealous? No, Emma's a detective I've had the pleasure of working with before. Hello, I'm Ema Skye, forensic investigator. What? So you're finally a full-fledged forensic investigator?
See, I told you!
Well, I like how I actually... That was relevant, everything I said.
It was.
She finally made it. Yeah, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. Look, I even have an official forensic investigator armband and everything.
Yeah, Daymon.
Yeah, now, but I was right before. That's great, Emma. I bet the exam was really hard, huh? Seeing as you flunked it several times before. Oh, that was a cinch. Really? Because I thought you said something about failing it over and over. Well, never mind that. The important thing is, I'm not a plain old detective anymore. So no more boring old investigations for me.
Now I get to poke at dead bodies. Yay!
Well, she sort of did that before. See, she was so bummed about it and about being a mere measly detective that, like, all the other times, the detective, like the lawyer who talks to the detective's like, well, we're not supposed to tell you anything. We're not supposed to cooperate with you guys much. We're not supposed to give you all the details.
Uh-huh.
But Emma was just like, no, I don't really care. And she just told you everything. And on top of that, the Apollo Justice had, you got to do all these forensic stuff throughout it. You got to, look at every piece of evidence in the evidence viewer. That was kind of how they did that. Like, how they introduced you to it was by having Emma just sort of, well, I'm not officially able to do this, but let me talk to you about my cool hobby of forensics. And it was really charming is all. I'm so happy I could hug the whole world. Coming from you, that's really something, because you don't act anything like you used to. criminals beware.
You're in for a scare. Wait, that's something completely different.
Okay, what was it?
Goosebumps. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
Fingerprinting, luminol testing, DNA analysis. Ema Skye is raring to go, so bring it on!
Wow, you can do all of that with your bag?
I'm that good, baby. Wow, I guess it's goodbye, grumpy clouds. Hello, fanatical sun.
Where did you hear that, Apollo?
I kind of like that.
She's very cheerful, isn't she?
You're one to talk!
Is it because of the weather or something?
No, I think it's because she's achieved her lifelong goal. She sure wasn't like this before. She was pretty frustrated back when she was assigned to the Criminal Affairs Department. And she was always munching on chocolate snackoos to relieve her stress. I forgot about that. That was one of the long-standing gags of snackoos. Snackoos and stress are a thing of the past. I've said goodbye to both of them. And may you never have to see either again.
What's your problem with snackoos?
Look, I can relate as somebody who in the last year and a half has ceased all bad habits. By the way, are you two here because of the murder? Cheerful, 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 murder, murder, cheerful? And, oh wait, wasn't the person who was accused of it Trucy? I know her too! Murder? Don't you mean the accident? Oh, is that what they call it? Then I guess you haven't heard. The case is being treated as a straight-up homicide now.
Jesus!
Something they found. What? Just so you know, I heard that the prosecution is going to argue tomorrow that Trucy outright murdered Mr. Rios. What?!
Are you kidding? They're treating it as a murder?
Emma, please tell us everything you know. And how can she just... Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I was like, how could she talk about Trucy like that? Of course, anything to help Trucy.
But first, I have to present to you my badge.
It's been 2 years since we first met. But you're still just a newbie to me.
That's okay, I'm a newbie to me, too.
Hey, that's not fair. I'm not even the newest lawyer in our office anymore.
Yep, that's Apollo and me, just two newbies working our way up.
I've had so much more experience than you. The guy I nailed was a really big shot. Oh, look at you two, the newbie duo. Must be nice, right, Apollo?
What are you implying, ma'am?
No. Show her the map! Take this! Diagram! Oh, are you asking me to test that? I love spraying luminol all over the place. Hey, why are you putting it away? I love spraying luminol all over the place.
Apollo, what does she mean by luminol? Is that a euphemism for something?
Emma, show Athena what luminol is! I just can't let her cover this in chemical reagents. This time. Athena, on the other hand.
She's going to cover me in chemical reagents?
Yeah, doesn't that sound great?
Is that a euphemism for something?
Ask her about herself first. Well, seriously, congrats on finally becoming the forensic investigator you always wanted to be. Thanks. I failed that exam so many times, I had it memorized. But I finally did it. I can finally use my forensics kit openly, whenever I want. Oh yeah, you used to have to stealth use a kit you sent away for, and then used it on behalf of us, and lied to everyone about it, especially your co-workers. Hey, it was all for justice.
Fair enough.
Oh, I still use that one too. But now, it's more of a hobby kit. It's important to have hobbies too, you know.
So your hobby is your job?
It's important to have hobbies too, you know.
I don't think that counts.
So basically nothing's changed. Are you kidding? I don't have to worry about getting in trouble for taking fingerprints for fun now.
Do you just walk up to people and randomly ask to dust them for prints?
No, I wait until they've moved after leaning on a fence, and then I dust the fence for fingerprints.
Okay.
It's positively life-changing. I can take all the prints I want.
Do you have like a scrapbook full of them or something?
And then I can DNA test them.
Oi!
Are you sure you're allowed to do that? Sure, I'm sure. I've been collecting all the prints I've taken into a personal database.
So yes.
And it's very important to remember that the taxpayer is paying for all of the chemicals I use. But don't worry about that. I've always kind of been shady. Now hold out your hands. I need to get your prints too. Just promise me you won't use them for evil.
I can't believe she took my prints too, Apollo.
Just go along with her. It's the only thing in her life. Why is the case being treated as a homicide now and not involuntary manslaughter? Well, apparently, there's something that proves it was a straight-up homicide.
Go on.
Well, that's vague. Do you know any of the details? No. I'm afraid that's all I was told as of right now.
We'll find out in the trial, I'm sure.
Really? How come? Hold on, leave her here too. I want to see what she does. Well, because the lead prosecutor is kind of a hard guy to read. Really, in all three of her games, she's just completely different. I say, but I don't remember her mannerisms from the first game at all.
Ah.
She might actually have readopted those.
I see.
But she's a good deal older. She should be about 30. Though maybe it's just a culture gap thing?
Culture gap thing?
So what, is it like a Koreanese prosecutor?
What the?
Anyway, he's not one to really share his thoughts.
How strange.
Wait, what do you mean by culture gap? The reason I say Koreanese is, well,
yeah,
they got paid.
Yeah.
So was it like a trading thing?
Prosecutor exchange program.
Yeah, was it a prosecutor exchange program? I mean...
we can take pain, we don't want him.
That's what it was. I mean that he's a foreigner, so his way of going about things is different. So who exactly am I up against tomorrow?
I'm concerned. What?
I see. Okay. Good that Edgeworth is actually in charge of stuff, and I'm really glad to finally hear about him. So, obligatory, yeah! Because I'd be lying if I said that he wasn't my favorite character in the series. And furthermore, he's really generally one of my favorite characters of all time.
It's true.
He had a lot of personal influence on me and the way I think. I kind of alluded to it before, but like he was the first person who... This is a long time ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I played the game 15 years ago or something like that.
We're old.
He's the first person who really made me think about, like, truth for the truth's sake and what that means. So, okay, I'll gush later. Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth has been reorganizing the prosecutor's office lately. As a part of that effort, he's gotten rid of a lot of corrupt prosecutors. So Edgy Poo said he just shipped Payne off to another country to get rid of him.
I guess so.
Maybe he actually killed Winston Payne too, just in case. So, also Edgeworth's original name, Mitsurugi Reiji, is, if you ask me, like the coolest sounding Japanese name that I can think of. Just saying. Look, I do in fact fanboy about certain things. Like giant robots.
Yeah.
You guys haven't really seen it.
No, you haven't.
So the prosecutor's office is looking pretty empty these days. And that's how a foreign prosecutor got assigned to this case? That's part of it, yes. Also thinking about it, Edgeworth has had some experience with cultural exchange. Not
That's
prosecutors,
true.
but,
That's true.
but Long from the first investigations game. And I do actually really like how, because Edgeworth is cleaner than White.
Yeah.
So there's no way that if he had any power that he'd put up with any type of corruption as soon as he found it.
Oh, yeah.
We were short on prosecutors, and this guy just happened to be visiting.
Meanwhile, in Krain, Phoenix, achoo!
And what's the purpose of his visit? Well, some insurgents from the kingdom of Kurain are thought to be hiding out here.
Oh, God.
It really is kind of exactly like Long.
Yeah.
As an international prosecutor, whatever that is, he apparently came to investigate the matter personally.
Like Interpol, but Interpro.
So, yeah. So he's from the kingdom of Kurain? That's right. He's also a Kurainist monk. A monk. So, how did he get assigned to this particular case anyway? It seems he's very devoted to furthering his studies as a prosecutor. He wanted to learn how crime scenes are investigated here, so he just showed up.
And the legal system just let him? My God. Okay, what?
So he was just curious, huh? Shouldn't he actually be really easy to defeat because he's not used to actually having trials or having to investigate murder scenes?
Well, it just depends on how devoted he is to his prosecutor studies.
Well, to be fair, the judge was a real judge. The
And
judge is a
Payne
real judge.
did do an investigation.
That's true. You're right, but maybe he's just doing that out of habit? No, I think you're right.
Well, the police investigated, yeah.
I think you're right. He looked the entire crime scene over quite earnestly. And just as everyone else was ready to call it a case of involuntary manslaughter...
This is most certainly a murder. The cruel act of an impure soul.
Or whatever he sounds like! That's what he said. Just like that. Then he volunteered himself as the prosecutor for this case. With a shortage of prosecutors right now, the prosecutor's office was glad to have him.
So Trucy was arrested for murder all because of this guy, huh?
What was that? Arrested!
Ruffles have ridges!
Or like turning on a lawnmower. I have to say, he's definitely not your typical prosecutor.
I'm really curious what he looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, are we gonna find out?
Well, I mean, when we get to trial.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe before, but probably not until the trial. He says court is where a victim receives their last rites. Well, at least
I'm sorry, there's not gonna be any spirit seance divination whatever here.
At least he's not killing us with a sword, for God's sake! Where the truth is revealed, the criminal is judged, and the victim's soul sees salvation. Receiving last rites in court allows the victim to finally rest in peace, or so he claims.
So to him, a trial is like performing funeral rites for the victim, huh?
First not guilty verdict in 23 years. That's certainly a unique way of looking at it. I remember back when the prosecutors weren't so crazy. His name is Nahyuta Sadmadi.
Nahyuta Sadmadi.
Nahyuta. Well, Nahyuta is a Japanese name, which makes sense because they have Magatama and Mitama and some H's in funny spots. Okay, look, I can buy all that, but we don't know anything about him, so I am curious about if there's any significance to the name. What? Nahyuta Sadmadi? That's right. What, do you know him or something? Oh, I guess you could say I've heard of him? Yeah, well, he is pretty famous. He is? Why? Why would a prosecutor from Kurain be famous?
Really?
Yeah, they say he travels the world solving difficult case after difficult case.
Ah, so he's got practice with non-Kurain.
So he cares about being a prosecutor for some reason, and he knows he's not going to get to do any of it in Kurain.
There you go! That's what it is! And, because of course Edgeworth wouldn't, like, take him in if he was just some
schlubbo.
Some schlubbo.
Where there is a hard case to crack, he's called in to prosecute it.
Wow, sounds like he's going to be tough to beat.
I can't believe this. I have to stand in court against him?
Well, maybe once you defeat him, you'll stop thinking of yourself as a frickin' rookie.
He seems like a very kind and gentle person, though. He's very polite and understanding to everyone he talks to. Why does Apollo always get these people? Well, it's like the problem with Gavin, who was his rival in Apollo Justice, is that Gavin was really nice and was actually always on the side of the truth from the beginning.
Yeah,
so
not really much friction.
There wasn't any friction. He was always so openly friendly and cooperative with Apollo and was like, oh man, you're right, but Devil's advocating this. It's like, what about this? And then he would offer stuff on your behalf. But that's cool and all, but you're not really fighting somebody if they're on your side. Huh. So he's a pretty agreeable guy then? Yeah, he's bound to see what kind of a person Trucy really is.
But don't they hate defense attorneys in Kurain? Would he even listen to what we have to say?
I don't see why not. He certainly seems like the type of person who would. Even so, do you think you could do us a favor, Emma? Could you tell Prosecutor Sadmati about Trucy, about what a good person she is? Of course. Leave it to me. I'll make him understand there's no way Trucy could have committed murder.
I hope he listens to reason.
Me too.
This is looking pretty bad, Apollo. They're calling it a murder, and they've even got proof. What are we gonna do?
Look on the bright side. That's what.
The bright side? What bright side?
Well, the good thing about there being proof is that it has to point to the real killer.
That's true.
If we can find out who that is, we can prove Trucy's innocence.
Oh, hey, you're right.
Which means our objectives are clear. We have to find two things. Proof of Trucy's innocence and evidence of the true culprit's identity, which is basically what we do in every investigation of every case.
You know what, Apollo? You're starting to give me a glimmer of hope.
Hope? Don't talk to me about hope! We're dealing with that all the time! And that means there's only one thing to do. Emma, would it be alright if we investigate the scene like we're not supposed to? If I said no, you'd just do it behind my back anyway, right? Would I do something like that, talking to you, of all people, considering our history? Yeah, I guess the jig is up. No, alright. But I'd better come along. Police supervision. Who knows what sorts of mischief you'd get up to if I'm not there to keep an eye on you?
Mischief we get up to. Mischief? Sounds like Emma trusts you about as far as she could throw you, Apollo. But you're kind of short, so I mean, aerodynamic.
Oi! He has been known to move things around at the scene of a crime, you know.
Really?
I don't remember the details.
Okay.
And what about you? You used to do all kinds of forensic tests on things without permission and let me move things around at the scene of the crime without permission, all while snacking snackoos. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, forensics and very possibly snackoos is always on the side of justice. How is that even remotely fair? Well, I suppose we are done.
I suppose we are.
Well, there's not enough time to actually get anywhere and anything else, but we made a lot of progress.
We did.
We caught up with some old characters in the series, which is always awesome, and we found out something about the prosecutor, and
He's going to look like a Street Fighter character, I just know it.
he very well might.